Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Las Vegas, back to the PGT PLO Series. It is the event number 3 final table, and boy, oh boy, do we have a big one on deck today. None other than Daniel Negreanu is the chip leader with 6 players remaining. You see him there on the right side of your screen. My name is Donnie Peters. I am joined by Kevin Gerhardt.
This is not a bounty tournament, so no reason to really get too out of line.
A couple of kings here for Daniel. He's in there with a raise. Blinds are up to 75K, 150K.
10 seconds.
We'll see a defend here from Dylan closing the action. Straight possibilities, flush possible, set possible. Only facing a 2.5x open size. Dylan does connect with the 7, but board more favorable for Negreanu with his overpair and gut shots.
Negreanu checking back, exercising some pot control. Ace on the turn. It is a spade. Negreanu has 9-5 of spades. Probably a card that favors Daniel overall.
Yeah, we block 2 kings, so it's harder for Dylan to have a king-10 combination. Our hand does have enough showdown. You know, are we getting some hands that contain 2 pairs to fold? Maybe, but it might take multiple streets. Dylan's just going to give this up with no equity.
Touch the board. It's weird. I have kings with a flush draw, but it's like I don't bet the flop. Then the ace comes, and then I bet.
Yeah.
350.
Daniel with a hand that could definitely go for a 3-bet bluff.
10 seconds.
I don't think Daniel's one of the more like ICM aware type people. He's definitely going to play to win and accumulate the most amount of chips possible.
Yeah, I don't think Daniel himself particularly cares as much as other players as it relates to ICM. You know, and he's even said it many times. I don't care about ICM. I play to win. That said, I certainly believe he recognizes how it could affect other players. So he can like flip the script and be like, okay, these guys are going to be ICM conscious, so I'm just going to apply maximum pressure at points.
True. It's a very good concept to know and understand and use to your advantage.
We do go 3 ways here to the 10-7-7 rainbow flop, and Negreanu flops trip 7s. Now, I would be curious, or at least I would think that Negreanu might have 3-bet this hand had Song not done that 4-bet very early on with the ace-king, right?
True.
So then Daniel's thinking, okay, you know what? I'll play it in position. I'll go post, and that's where I'll apply my pressure, you know, depending on what sort of texture comes out.
Yeah, very, very good points. Song has definitely used his chip stack to his advantage.
So action check to Daniel. He bet 350. Blair folded. Song comes along.
Song calling with his overpair of kings. Knows that if Daniel doesn't smash this board, his kings are in the lead equity-wise. We can see Daniel does have the 7.
Blank here on the turn, keeping Daniel well out in front. He's going to check it back. And a 10 comes in on the river. Might be a tricky card for Daniel to navigate, but let's see what proceeds. And look at Song. He's going to pounce here.
Very, very small blocker bet. Daniel has to pay here, but really good for Song to set his own price on the river. You know, if he gets raised, he can just very easily fold.
Probably just a factor of the ICM implications, not wanting to get too involved, ultimately out of position.
Right. And we know that Weissman knows the 3-bet bluffing ranges in PLO down pat. I think if he had double suited ace 10, 10, 9, that's way more cause for a 3-bet. He only had the dry ace, which doesn't give you that much extra playability out of position. Just decided to let it go. I probably pained him a little bit on the inside. You know, you see these hands, and you're like, I know I should do this, but other factors are causing me to play a different way.
Blair and Negreanu going to battle on this one. 9-4-3.
Blair finding a really nice looking ace queen jack 7 double suited. Might be his first actual raise of the entire final table.
Check here on the flop. 6 of spades comes in on the turn. Negreanu still best here, but only has a pair of 7s. That said, this could be the type of board that he can come out with a bet, and he does just that.
Yeah, this is definitely a board that favors the big blind calling range. The last couple of hands we saw Blair get involved with, you know, he had queens, he had ace king queen jack, he has ace queen jack 7. He's just not connecting with any of these boards. But the good news for him is he's saving so many chips from just playing this small ball style strategy poker.
That's not really ideal. Do you really want to play ace 10, 10, 9 for all the chips pre-flop? Probably not. So you just fold. And in an ICM world, when you're in these tricky ICM spots like Wiseman's in, oftentimes you make the most money overall just by folding. Yes, that's boring, but that's the name of the game.
That's how poker works. We've come to the conclusions that these theories are accurate. We did see Dylan just fold jacks under the gun 1. Negreanu with a very playable ace queen 8-6 double suited out of the small blind does decide to just limp and call. Chen double paired hand with diamonds himself does punish out of the big blind. We can see Negreanu does cover Chen only slightly. Negraanu's small ball strategy coming to light here. We can see that he is.
Now, I know we haven't seen it yet at this final table, like a big post-flop bluff from Daniel, but if you've been around for any of the previous PGT PLO Series final tables, not this series, but past series where Daniel has been at these final tables, he has pulled off some pretty highly technical bluffs at times.
Yeah.
I remember 2 specifically against Alex Foxen.
I was gonna
you know,
say.
leveraging some blocker qualities there. So it's not out of the realm of possibility that Daniel can you know, turn it up quite a bit post-flop. He's been a little bit quieter today, yes, but it is certainly within his arsenal to come with things. And here, he won't necessarily need to bluff. He finds this queen on the river.
All right, I wonder what was going through his mind when he check called the flop. Yes, it was a small bet.
Chen doesn't really like it there. Daniel got there on the end with that queen, makes kings and queens.
Right, he did just know. Daniel very, very short now. Down to 8 big blinds. Does know that in PLO with the big blind ante, you're always getting the right place to at least limp from the button to try and see a cheap flop. I mean, neither player really loves this flop. I think Chen is just going to get the check mark here. And then next hand, Daniel has to put 500K into the middle. All right. Gut shot for Daniel. Some backdoors.
Queen here on the turn.
Make that a double gut shot. Chen only has 1 pair. Can Daniel represent something here? We don't have very many chips to work with. Our SPR is just over 1.
1.250.
Wow.
Negreanu comes with it here.
It's
A
just
pot-sized bet, 1.25 million. Very much committing himself. And Chen with the quick fold there. Negreanu gets it through.
Yeah, if we saw Chen fold the last hand, this one's going to be a fold as well. Okay, I'm just wrong. Everything I say, James Chen just does the opposite.
Ace-Jack 7-3 here for Daniel.
sticking with his signature small ball style. He does have a hand that is a contender to go all in. 1.75 in the middle, 1.1 behind.
Jack 8-7, 2 pair for Daniel, pair of 8s for Chen. Chen was the aggressor. He is in position. Of course, he's the big chip leader. If he wanted to, he could just put Daniel all in here.
I think that's what's going to happen.
And there it is. And Daniel calls it off. Here we go.
Have a good hand.
Daniel Negreanu all in with his tournament life on the line. Currently has the best of it, and he's 77% to double up. A queen or an 8
Oh, yeah, duh.
is what
Oh, no,
James
yeah,
Chen is looking
exactly.
for.
Yeah, you don't
to
yeah,
get the
2
trophy.
So you have to hit a queen or an 8.
To hit the buffalo.
Let's hear it, chat. Who you rooting for? I got a guess, but I want to ask anyway.
We know everyone in chat wants this game to continue.
5 of diamonds on the turn. Daniel now up to 88%. Chen needs 1 of 5 outs. A queen or an 8 here on the river. If he finds it, he'll win. If not, Daniel doubles. It is the Jack of Clubs, full house for Dean Eggs. And he doubles up to 4 million. We fight on. A couple of jacks here, along with the 8-5 for Chen.
Check.
He limps in. King, Queen, 9-7. Badoogie for Negreanu. Queen, 8-6.
Really good flop for Negreanu with the top pair. Open under, 76% equity.
9 on the turn. Now 2 pair for Daniel, queens and 9s.
Chen double blocking Jack 10 with his pair of jacks and blocking the 5 for the lower end of the straight. Negreanu's not going to go anywhere with top 2 and a 7 also blocking the straight.
Bet of 350 here from Chen. Daniel comes along. Three of diamonds on the river, so Daniel's got the check mark if he can get this one to showdown. He checks.
Chen has to decide here if his jacks have any showdown capability or if he wants to continue representing Jack 10 for the nuts on this board. We have seen him in the past just err on the side of caution.
Chen does check it back. Daniel shows the queen 9 for 2 pair.
Aces back to back for Daniel.
Ace, ace, king 5 this time.
Pot.
750 announced. Kings for Chen. King, king, 5 deuce. Is he going to try and end it right here?
He has to. There's no other way around this. This money is going in pre-flop, and then we're going to see if Chen can hit his 25%. Chen does have a live suit in clubs, but sharing the 5 is so bad.
And he pots it. Negreanu pots it back. And this money is going to... Well, Chen hasn't called you. I thought he was going to snap it off.
I mean,
Like 5, right?
He's just going to kind of verify that it's not, you know, like 8 million or something crazy. And there is the call.
Back to back.
Back-to-back aces for Daniel Negreanu, and he's in an incredible spot
5.
here
This
against
is
the
what they
kings
call a
of
good
James
spot,
Chen.
generally speaking.
If Daniel survives here, not only will he double up, he will take the chip lead
What's
in
the
this
price? What are your
heads-up
odds on
match.
it? You know,
I don't, but I don't like my chance.
you're not. You're definitely an underdog, but it's Omaha, so anything can happen.
No, this is as probably
Pretty dead, right? Well, you have a
80,
suit.
80-20 maybe.
Negreanu is
Having a
3 to
suit is
1
good.
here, 75%
too.
to win this
Five,
hand.
Yeah.
Jack 7-3, 2 spades, but those spades do not matter. Negreanu now 91%. He's just got a hold. Queen of spades. Just 1 out because Negreanu has the king of diamonds in his hand. Six of diamonds, and Daniel Negreanu secures the double up and shoots up into the chip lead here.
10 seconds.
Daniel still continuing with his small ball strategy. Definitely worth raising if he's interested with a king, queen, 10, 9 on the button.
King, 9, 8. Could be a bit troublesome here for Chen. Limped pot, he flops top pair. Daniel has top 2 pair, also a straight draw. Chen does have backdoor clubs and backdoor hearts. Backdoor hearts the better of the two. Negreanu comes with 250K.
Yeah, way too much hand to fold here. Unfortunately, we do only have 15% equity.
Chen check calling. 6 of diamonds on the turn.
Very interesting. Chen could credibly represent a straight with his 2 sevens. Wonder if he decides to come with lead, which he does. He doesn't have to bet too much, maybe half pot.
$750K from Chen.
Does come with
60%
2
pot.
third, yep.
Daniel's got one of those hands that certainly too good to fold, probably not good enough to raise and just, you know, try and get the money in. So comes along with a call. 3 of spades on the river. Daniel still very much with the best of it. Let's see if Chen comes with a bet that he, you know, one of those blocker bets where he wants to kind of control the size of the pot, or if he just comes pretty hefty.
No, he's reaching with both hands.
2.1 million.
Daniel did see he just gave up on the last hand with his bluff. We have a 10 in our hand blocking the nut straight being 7-10. We have to ask ourselves, what exactly does the 6 change on the
10
turn?
seconds.
Oh, we'll see Daniel use a time extension here. Wasn't sure.
Might use all of them.
Yeah. Going through all the permutations of what exactly the 6 of diamonds changes on the turn, because if we didn't have the best hand on the flop, we would have heard about it on the flop.
10 seconds.
Daniel deep in the tank here. We can see that he has the best of it.
This would actually be a really, really awesome call. If you can use some white magic and suss out the bluff from Chen. I think that's a you got it type of thing.
And Negreanu gives up the best hand. Chen pulls off a big bluff there, as we are now playing a 300K big blind. Chen limping the button here. 7-7-5 deuce. Daniel checks the jack 8-7-4. King jack 8. Negreanu assumes the lead with 2 pair, jacks and 8s. Check, check. 8 on the turn. That fills up Daniel. Brings in a flush draw for Chen, and if he checks back with that flush draw, could be a fun river card.
True. He is gonna go for a little blocker type bet. Get down, it'll fold out a lot of hands that haven't beat that contain equity. Obviously, Daniel's not going anywhere. Daniel knows or doesn't know it, but he wants a 7 on the river. 1 outer for the full double.
9 on the river.
As we see here, Chen does not have the blocker properties that he had.
You have an 8?
I had a card I could lose a lot of money with.
Yeah.
Let us know where you're watching from. I know we've asked a couple times already today, but we have a whole bunch new viewers that are coming in, so let us know where you're watching from. And if you are experiencing a little bit of a lower quality when you refresh the video, just hit the gearbox, change the resolution. You should be able to adjust it to HD high definition, so you can see the beautiful faces of James Chen and Daniel Negreanu as best as possible.
Yeah, remember the days of watching things in like 360?
No, I don't.
Just blacked out of your
I
mind.
mean, I
It's
do,
not-
but I would like to forget those days, of course.
It's absolutely insane. How do people, watch black and white TVs back in the day compared to where we are now? So
Chen check calls here for 300K. Go ahead.
yeah, so we do have a small pot developing here. Chen was the button and limped pre, and Negreanu led the flop, and Chen called from the button.
500.
Chen actually picks up one of the best cards in the deck for his hand.
Yeah, this could be an action driver too, because Negreanu probably feels, oh, club's a great card for me. I got 7-6 of clubs. Like, this is a good spot. But of course, we can see how close these equities are. 60-40. Negreanu betting 500K.
1.6.
Check raise from James Chen makes it 1.6 million. And what do you do if you're Daniel Negreanu? Certainly deep enough, you could just call. Do you take the aggressive approach and come back over the top?
Yeah, it is really interesting to try and figure out what Chen is representing from Negreanu's shoes.
10 seconds.
Does call. Open ender, flush draw, which is no good, and top pair good enough for Daniel to continue. 60-40 here. 4.7 million in the middle.
9 of diamonds comes in on the river, 4.7 million out there. Negreanu has the best hand, 100%. We have seen James Chen pull off a big bluff before in this heads-up play. Does he have it in him again?
It's so weird because Negreanu has everything in his hand that he wants Chen to be bluffing with. If Chen can pull off something like
2.8.
like 3 million is what I was going to say. He might just get the
2.8
fold.
million announced. Can Daniel find the call? He folded last time. Chen had a big bluff.
And Chen told Daniel that he had a bluff on the last time. Can he pull off 2 big bluffs in a row, or can Daniel sniff out
6.4.
that he's capable? Oh my gosh.
He comes right back, and a snap fold out of James Chen. Daniel fires right back.
Another Badoogie for Negreanu.
Daniel limping in. Similar sort of hand here. 10-7-5-3 for Chen. 10 high, kind of connected. Chen does have diamonds in his hand. 7-6 deuce rainbow.
You definitely see a little bit of action here. Both players flopping a little bit of something, something. Chen decides to lead out of the big blind. Quick call from Daniel.
1.5 million in the middle. 6 of diamonds on the turn. Daniel with trip 6s, another diamond for Chen.
Both players still have straight draws. Chen going to continue more small betting. Is Daniel afraid of much here? Or is he just going to continue small ball? Call, evaluate on rivers.
There is the call. Pot now 2.3 million. Deuce of hearts on the river. Check mark to Negreanu. How does Chen want to proceed here?
Probably just hope to get to showdown and pray that your 7 is somehow
1.25.
good. Although if you try to get to showdown with a pair of 7s here and Daniel can't beat it, he's going to try to bluff and take the pot away. So you're putting yourself in a pretty precarious situation with Chen, where you have showdown that you want to just be able to turn your cards over.
Chen's check is met with a bet of 1.25 million from Negreanu, and Chen probably doesn't like that he has diamonds. You know, kind of a hand that you want your opponent to maybe float with some backdoor diamonds and then bluff them on the river.
Yeah, we don't have an 8 or a 9 in our hand, blocking some of the straight draws that Negreanu could have. Tough spot to call here with just one pair. We lose to all over pairs somehow if Daniel decided he was going to bet those on the river.
Well, he's got the chips to call in his hand. Will he throw them in? He shoots a look over to Daniel, and Chen's going to pay off this bet here. Daniel announces a 6, shows it, and Negreanu back into the lead and stretching out a gap. 11.875 million for him.
10 seconds.
Limped pot here, 900K out there. 8-4 deuce with a couple of clubs.
I mean, both players like this flop. They both flop top pair. Chen with top 2 pair. Wonder how he wants to proceed here against a lead from Negreanu. Does have the jack of clubs in his hand, blocking some flush draws.
10 seconds.
And there is a raise from Chen. Powering through with that 2 pair.
Yeah, Negreanu has 3 overs to the 4, which would improve him to a higher 2 pair.
And Daniel's going to come along here. This pot balloons up over 3 million now. 7 of clubs on the turn.
Really interesting card. That's not one of the cards you want to see as Chen, even though we do have the jack of clubs blocker. We could bet here and might be able to take it down, or we could try to get our hand to showdown. If we check here and the board doesn't change, Negreanu is incentivized to bluff. We have to put ourselves into another situation. Daniel does make the straight on the end.
The 5 comes home for Daniel. He makes a 9 high straight. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Now Daniel going for value here.
1.2 million. A little bit over 1/3 pot. And Chen with a tough decision here. Last time he paid off Daniel when Daniel had the 3 6s. Can he find the fold here? And he does, and didn't take too long to do it. Good discipline from James Chen.
Yeah, very quick fold.
And Daniel Negreanu stretches out his chip lead further. 2-1 now in favor of D-Negs. He's up over 13 million. We got it all as Negreanu gets another good one here. Ace, Jack, 8-7, double suited once again. On the button, pot size raised. 9-8-7 deuce there for Chen. I feel like Chen's starting to feel it like, can I get some better cards over here? Like, this is just, you know, I mean, it's heads up, so I got to kind of call, but it's also, you know, it's not really fun.
Right, exactly. And when you look down at this hand, you think you'd have a bunch of live cards, but Daniel is just dominating a lot of the holding that Chen does have here. Both players with the 8s on the flop.
King 8-3 rainbow. Negreanu's 8, much better than Chen's. Chen checks, Daniel checks back. 6 of spades on the turn. Negreanu still out in front here. But Chen does have decent equity with the 9-7 for an open-ended straight draw as well.
I think Daniel is pretty incentivized here to check it back and get to showdown with his pair of 8s.
Ace of hearts on the river. Negreanu gets 2 pair, aces and 8s.
Pretty
Chen
clear
checks.
value bet from Daniel here. Goes big.
1.5 from Negreanu, and that prompts a fold out of James Chen. And once again, Daniel is up over 15 million.
Really monstrous hand for Negreanu on the button. We'll see a pot size open.
Yeah, beautiful to find the ace, king, king, deuce suited to the ace. And queens
Wow.
for Chen. Does have one suit as well. Does he want to just try and get this money in pre and run it?
3.6.
Yeah, it's
There is the re-raise, 3.6.
definitely a hand we are very happy to go with off of 15 big blinds.
And Daniel fires back with a pot-sized re-raise. Chen calls all in, and here we go. Will this be the one to seal the 11th PGT title for Daniel Negreanu, or will James Chen find another double up? Chen, 37% to stay alive. Negreanu, 63% to win it all.
Just give us a sweat. Just 2 diamonds. There's always a sweat.
Daniel Negreanu on the verge. Here comes the flop. Ace, 9, 6 with a couple of hearts. Turn card is the king of spades,
That'll do
and
it.
that is going to do it.
Crazy.
Daniel
Back and
Negreanu wins his 11th career PGT title and takes home $182,850. Kid
You
Poker
had 7
victorious
Yeah.
once again.
Folded king 9, queen 10.